Saturday, November 16th, 2024, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Well, today we're going to start with a look at inflationary waves. We're going to also look at gold and how it's done in the past in terms of after it breaks out. And then I'm going to conclude with a look at a very interesting speculative opportunity in the mining sector. Yes, I still maintain that it's important to have a very good physical base of precious metals. But there are some of you, and like me, who like to speculate. And speculation is nothing wrong. It's trying to look into the future and assessing the risks and rewards. So I'm going to start right off the bat with something that Jay Powell said on Thursday. And don't forget, the Fed recently cut rates for the second time. But he said in Dallas that the Federal Reserve is in no hurry to lower interest rates further. And why is that? Well, I think it's because he's looking at the CPI, which for them is an indicator of inflationary pressures. And as you can see here from these charts, one from Tavi Costa and the other one here from Refinitiv Fontobel. In the 70s, there were three inflationary waves, a small one and then two big ones. And I think we've gone through the first big one. That was 2020 to 2020, well, middle of 2024. And it looks like it's picking up again, even though this chart is only going back to 2023. If you look at the current CPI chart from investing.com, it's starting to tick up. And I think that's why the Fed's concerned. The other point I would make is that the Fed follows the bond market. The bond market doesn't follow the Fed. And ever since the Fed cut by 50 basis points on September 18th, the 10-year yield is gone from 3.6 to above 4.4%. So that's giving conflicting signals to Jay Powell. And now let's move to gold because I was recently at a precious metals mining summit in Zurich, as you probably know, and I listened to Ronald Peter Stoffrele, and he made a very good presentation, and he showed us this chart, gold at all-time high, breakout analog, and you might want to pause the video and look at this, but the most important line you need to look at is the red line, which is the breakout that we've had this year. And why is it a breakout? Well, because until gold didn't break out of 1900, 2000 area that we had since 2020, it was still not going to be in a big bull market. And once we broke, let's say, through 2100, that's why gold really took off. But as you can see, we're still halfway, kind of halfway gone through the average breakout that we've had in the past, and we're not even close to some of the moves that we've seen in the past, like in 72, 78, and 07. So I think it's still early days, and that's why it's interesting to look at the miners. The other thing that I heard that was interesting in Zurich was from Mark Faber, a native of Zurich, of course, but who lives in Thailand. And he said in a question from Grant Williams, what's the most unusual thing this year? And he said, well, it's the fact that gold and silver are up about 30% or so, and the miners are not up 200%. It's with that in mind that I've recently partnered with a company called South Pacific Metals Corp. I'd like to thank them for choosing my channel to divulge this speculative opportunity. Yes, it's gold and copper mining exploration. And before we go further, just wanted to let you know that their ticker symbol on the OTC market in the US is SPMEF. And in Canada, their ticker symbol is SPMC. Well, let's start with location. That's a really important factor. One of the important factors when looking at mining projects. Well, South Pacific Mining Corp is in Papua New Guinea. It's well known for its rich mineral resources. The region has long been considered a world-class mineral district with numerous Tier 1 deposits. In the latter part of the 20th century, it remained a remote chain of islands difficult to get to, but that has changed. They've got the infrastructure now for the mining industry. The other thing about Papua New Guinea, it's in the Ring of Fire, and that region of the world has had volcanic activity for millions of years, and that's brought up minerals from the core of the earth. And in Papua New Guinea, these minerals have come up, but not far enough for previous civilizations there to have exploited these minerals, because they're a few hundred meters below the surface. And now with modern technology, that's why we're seeing a rush of mining projects there, and it's why it's become such a popular and world-class mining district. So now we're going to compare the project with some other mining companies that have been very successful in this location. So K92 Mining is adjacent to the main projects that South Pacific Mining Corp has, Osena and Anga projects, and both border on K92, and they're showing similar geological, structural, and metal associations to K92 Mining. And K92 Mining is already producing 117,000 ounces of gold a year, 160,000 of silver a year, and 7.6 million pounds of copper annually. And I think the comparison with K92 Mining is an interesting one. K92 Mining started to define their project, and that means they're telling the world how much gold they think they have, resources. They started doing that in 2018. And as reserves were proven, its value grew rapidly, and their stock price has increased 285% over the past 5 years. And the majority of that move, of course, started in the early days when investors realized that there's a lot of minerals to be exploited there. The resources were proven. And if you look at K92 Mining right now, its market cap is just over 2 billion Canadian. Back in 2018, the share price was around 50 cents. Now it's $8.50 Canadian. And South Pacific Metals, the market cap is 24 million in Canadian dollars, and the share price is about 60 cents. And of course, as I've always said, this is not financial advice. This is my opinion. You should do your due diligence, of course. One of its 4 projects, by the way, is less than 3 kilometers from K92's gold mining operation, and it's sitting on the exact same geology. As you can see here, surface samples show gold at high concentrations. Should drilling indicate similar reserves, expect investors to come rushing in. Yes, we haven't had that come out yet, so it's still early days. So let's just quickly look at the K92 Gold District and the main projects here for South Pacific Metals. So it's immediately adjacent to K92 Mining's operation, as you can see. Ideal neighborhood, active gold mining operations in the well-endowed district. Ability to operate, excellent infrastructure, highway access to both projects and nearby K92 gold mine with existing power and water infrastructure. So this is the interesting part here. Large porphyry copper and gold complex identified. So that's the Osena gold copper project. So it's not just gold. So let's look at the leadership or the people running the company and this project. Well, Executive Chairman and CEO is Michael Murphy. He's the founder of TSX Gold. They went from an exploration company to a $2 billion plus market cap gold producer. Michael spent 12 years on the TSX board of directors after participating in raising over $1 billion of debt and equity. So we've also got Kathy Fitzgerald. She's president and chief geologist, 20 years experience in technical leadership roles, driving strategy, execution, and advancing exploration resources developments projects across various commodities. Previously, she was vice president, exploration and resource development at Apollo Silver and director of resource evaluation at Ivanhoe Electric. And only 3 days ago, this came out that South Pacific Metals taps K92 exploration veteran to lead Anga and Osena project drilling in Papua New Guinea's K92 Gold District. So that's Dean Williamson. So they've got the guy that was a veteran at K92 Mining, and we know what K92 Mining became, right? So before I wrap up, the ticker symbol again, in the US, OTC market is SPMEF. In Canada is SPMC. I recommend you do your due diligence. I've put a link to the website of the company below in the description. I'm going to put a link as well to a very good article that came out a month or so ago about the project. You can read that too. And again, this is not financial advice. This is for informational purposes only. And I'd also like to thank South Pacific Metals Corp again for partnering with the channel. And with that, I'm going to wish you all a very good weekend. Take care. Bye.